This is what Archimedes looks like when you open it in your browser. You can see that it is running as a portlet inside the JBoss portal server. On the top is as a menu from which you can access your projects, experiments and results. We will now look at some of the experiments which have already been defined. So let's click on experiments. Every experiment belongs to a project. So if we select one of the projects, we'll choose the demo project here and click on show. We can see all the experiments in the demo project. Let us now look inside one of the experiments to see how it has been defined. This is the experiment of a windmill, and we see that it has a single control parameter, which is the wind speed, a single input parameter, which is the diameter of the fan, and a single output parameter, which is the power generated by the windmill. Let us now look at another example. We look at a subway capacity planning for the New York subway. So if we click on this experiment, we can see its details. We see that it has one control parameter, which is the hour of the day, several input parameters, the day of the week of the year, the month of the year, and the year itself. And it has a single output parameter. So again we see that you can have several input parameters, but you need to have a single control parameter. Let us now look at one more slightly more complex example, and this is a jet engine nozzle. And here we see that again it has a single control parameter, which is the cross-sectional area of the inlet of the nozzle. It has several input parameters and it has several output parameters. To create a new experiment in Archimedes, you simply click on the New Experiment button. You can then specify the name of your new experiment. You can select a parent project. We'll go with demo, and you click on save. Your experiment will now appear in the list of experiments for the demo project. We can click on it to see how it is set up. Since this experiment has just been created, we can see that it does not have any parameters set up. There are no control parameters, no input parameters, and no output parameters. To create parameters, we click on the New Parameter button. Let us start by creating the control parameter, which is the month in our case. So we give it a name. The units, month does not have any units, so I'll just give number, an abbreviation, and the type, which in this case is a control parameter. And we click on save. We see that we now have the control parameter in our experiment. To create more parameters for input and output, let us go ahead and click on the New Parameter button. Let us now create the input parameters. So we'll give location as a zip code. The units do not exist for a zip code, so I'll just type number. The abbreviation, I'll give it as LOC, and a type input, and I save it. We can see now that the input parameter appears in this table. Let us now create an output parameter. So once again we click on New Parameter. We give a name for the output. We give the units and an abbreviation. We select a type, which is output, and click on save. And we see that our output parameter has appeared in this table. In this way, we have completed the definition of our experiment in terms of a single input parameter, a single output parameter, and a control parameter, which is the month. We can now start loading results for this experiment.